Today I'm speaking to Dr. Aluya again. We'll continue our conversation where we stopped the last time. So you just finished the African Ambassador Economic Summit. What did you take out of the summit?
Well, first and foremost, why are we having the summit? We're having the African Ambassadors Economic Summit. Economic, because it is the time for this generation to redefine the ideology and the concept on Africa's economics. The ability for Africans and all people of African descent across the globe to begin to own their economics, meaning their resources, the money, the finances, the wealth above and below the earth, the minerals, gold, cadmium, you just name it, including vibranium. So we're creating, the atmosphere for another movement to start. This time around, economics. Because like those who control money control everything, and they control the narrative. And that's why any race that has to be dominant must learn those three factors I call 3 M's of racial dominance.
Okay, my other question is that during the summit, I had a conversation with one of the participants. His question was like, how are you guys going to be able to put this into action? What is the effectiveness? People do summit every day. Everybody go home and they forget what happened. So how are you guys going to be able to put this into action so that it will actually, the people that need some of this information will get it, and the leaders will also get the awareness that there's a movement that's going on.
Right. So if you notice, the term was Africa's Ambassadors Economic Summit. So it was painstakingly chosen out, those names. And we invited the African ambassadors of the 54 countries who represent the governments of Africa in the United States, and of course the United AU, African Union, to be involved in it. That's in the name. Now, painstakingly, like I said, it's been going on for the last 7 years, where thought processes have been put in. First, we need to identify who we are, where are our champions. Like I always say, we have champions in our communities. A lot of us are champions in our individual spaces, in healthcare, in engineering, in fintech, all of this. And they're doing marvelous work, heading corporate industries, owning big businesses, championing causes across the globe that are changing lives. But those lives have not truly been impactful for Africa itself, except for a few things. Coming to a point where, how do we begin to do this? First, identifying who we are, those champions. Knowing people like Dr. Kwesumi, who's a champion in healthcare, and you yourself, who's a champion in your own space. Identifying those people, see what resources that they have, and then connecting their dots. Because until you connect that dot, our forefathers did it. They did it and then achieved results. And we saw the results. So it's our turn now to do the same. Power is most effective when concentrated. So identifying those so we can concentrate those powers. But more importantly, applying those powers to the effect.
I have 2 more questions for you. The first question is that all Black people are supposed to be the same, but the African communities and the African American community, there's a lot of conflict, So how are we able to solve that issue? How are we able to bring our African American brothers into this kind of movement?
Right. So I've said, and sometimes people have heard me say this, the strategies for us to truly come together to build systems in the Black community everywhere. There's what they call internal reconciliation and strategy formation. That's the first step. I took it in 2 prongs. Internal reconciliation and strategy formation. The other prong is external affiliation and external association. And I'll explain what this means. The conflict in our communities, driven directly or people who are us, we need to sit and talk to one another, hear one another talk, and reconcile our grievances and aches and pain that we both share, and understand that we are going through adjustment identity crisis, so that we arrange and display that. Because upon which we have done that, it's impossible for us to sit and strategize. So once we've done that, reconcile our differences, smoothing the edges amongst us, then we'll go on to the next stage of strategy formation, so that we create those strategies that will eventually make us globally relevant, and hopefully someday, when our children's children can become globally dominant. Now, the other aspect is external affiliation and external association. What does that mean? Meaning you look at people who are affiliated with you, who understand that your failure is their failure. Those are those whose affiliations affect you directly. Now, the other part is external association. I can associate with you, but what that means is, look, you have your interests and you pursue your interests alone, straight up. I have my interests and I pursue my interests alone. But because of common issues of identities that would lead to a common progress, I can say, you know what, let's do business. For instance, look, if it's the Chinese, they'll help you build roads and build structures. All right, fine. Chinese, this is what you want. You help me do this. All right, fine. You want something from me. I also want something from you. Let's come to a compromise. These are the structures and systems and the tactics that we must take to do this. Internal reconciliation and strategy formation, and external association and affiliation.
All right. So my last question is that when are we going to see the next summit?
Right. So next summit by God's grace will be next year. And hopefully, like everybody says, it should still be at the West End. They love the process. See, Africa is coming. Their beautiful regalia. They came to hear brilliant minds talk and show passion about their people, not about but the continent itself, and the willingness to create a process, a platform for Africa's growth. And you saw the president of St. Martin and the first vice president who came, and the things that they show, the passion and the epitome of leadership, of self-service that his son shows to his people.
Okay, people who would like to sign up, because they'll see some of these videos of the event, they're like, oh, I want to be part of this. How do they sign up? Where did they go?
Go to our website. It's the African Ambassador Economic Forum, AAF.com. You're going to see everything else, and we'll keep that updated continuously for those who will take after us. Again, mentorship is a big issue. We're going to create the atmosphere for mentorship.
With that, we conclude this interview, and I like what you said about mentorship. Mentorship is passing on the baton from one generation to another. And you know about Heroes of Tomorrow's Africa, and you're part of the foundation.
Our heroes. We have to recognize.
Yeah, we have to recognize the Heroes of Tomorrow's Africa.
Those great things in the community.
Yeah. So with that, we'll conclude this section, and Dr. Aluya is always going to be coming around, and you could see the passion, and that's what we need from every African, that passion to motivate other people so that they can be inspired and start working. Thank you.